Which one did you say? It's not recording. Are you sure? Are you 100% sure? Jason, this has been a rough day. What do we got? What was it, Kate? I'm sorry, 14?
23.
That's what I was thinking. 23. Oh, yes. 23, I concur. This is not really the first time that we've done graphing quadratic equations, but we shall review because it's always good to review. First things first. The first thing, ladies and gentlemen, you should ask yourself, is this a parabola that opens up or down? Is it a U or is it an umbrella? This is a U. If it's positive, positive in front of the x squared gives you this. So we got to figure out where that is. Step number one is, I hope, Kate, did you define A, B, and C?
Yeah.
A is Kate. B is Kate. Negative 6, thank you. It's the number in front of the x, it's not negative 6x. C is 5, right?
Yes.
Then you find the axis of symmetry, which is negative b over 2a. Negative b over 2a. B was negative 6, and a was 1. So you have two negatives on top, causing a positive 6 over 2, giving us an axis of symmetry of 3. And if you look, by all means, that seems like a legitimate thing because it seems to be in the middle of the paper. So far, so good, Kate? Now, you want to find where is the y value on that axis of symmetry because that is this bottom point. That is its minimum. So really, I always kind of draw myself a little chart here just so I keep things straight. I am putting 3 in for my equation and I'm going to see what I get for y up here. So it ends up being 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5. So I'll put my 3's in there. 3 squared is 9. 6 times 3 is negative 18 plus 5. So you end up with a, 6 minus 18 is negative 9, 9 plus 5 is negative 4. So bam. Minimum. Now the next thing you look for, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work, is this number here is where it crosses the y-axis. And unfortunately, that number there is way, way, way up here off of our graph. So now we're in a world of hurt. Here is where you just need to pick one of these numbers here to see if you can figure out where a point is here. I suppose I would try 1 because 1's a relatively simple number for x. And if I put 1 into the whole gizmo gadget there, 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 5. 1 squared is 1, 6 times 1 is negative 6. Oh, look, it ends up a wash. At 1, you get 0. So here at 1, it's 0. And then it's a reflection, so boom. And really, ladies and gentlemen, that's about as much as I'd expect you to do. You could do 2, or you could just draw your little thing and make it look like this. You didn't hear that from me. You get those 3 points in this case, I'll call it a day. Although if you put 2 in there, it probably ended up being where here? Huh? Negative 3. Stop me there, man. We've been doing this for like a month now, so hopefully that was a good review. If only you could remember half the stuff that you were taught. Okay, Barry. Number 20. Number 20. Why, the question you should ask yourself is why do the senior citizens get the shaft in this question? First thing you have to do with this, Lainey, is did you define what you don't know and what you're looking for?
Yes.
What did you call those letters? Unfortunately, they both start with S as a senior and student. Did you pick something over there?
O for old.
That's a good way to do it. O is the old people and
S is student.
S is students. So then you just write your two equations. 7 old people. Although old is not my favorite because it looks like 0.
We figured that out after we started writing it, but you just made it really small.
Well,
Put a 1 to the 0. Put E for elder.
Oh,
Yeah.
7 old people plus 4 students equals $129. And then 4 old people plus 4 students. Oh, this is another one where you didn't really have to do any of this to figure this out. But logically, you can figure this out without much effort there. But hey, this isn't that hard. You could solve this any way you want. You could graph it and find the answer, but I wouldn't do that. I would use elimination because you already have 4s here. So in order to solve it, you just need to make one of those columns negatives. Which one would be the smart person choice? Bottom one, because then you'll be working with all positive numbers. Negative, negative, what? Negative. These go away, yes? 7 from minus 4 is 3 old people are going to cost you $45. Divided by 3. Divided by 3. The old people, in fact, are $15 each. Put that in either one of those 2 equations up here. Let's do it in the first one just because. What is 7 times 15? I think it's 105. Subtract your 105 from that, you end up with 24. And if 4s equals 24, students then cost just $6 each. Again, somebody may want to talk to the civil rights people on that. That's it? Love it? Altenburg? 1999. Substitution, elimination, which one is that? Elimination? I'm going to rewrite it right here to make it big and exciting for all involved. 10x plus 6y equals 18, and then 6x plus 5y equals 8. All right, Aubrey, we got to get them to eliminate, so you got to get them to be opposite numbers of each other. What did you try? Did you try one so I could kind of go along your same line?
I did the 6 and the 5.
Okay, so common denominator if you were doing fractions would be 30, so that's what you're shooting for. You need these both to be 30 because there's no other way you're going to get them like, right? So the top's got to be multiplied by 5s, and the bottom's all multiplied by 6s. The only problem with doing that at this point is what? These will both be 30s, but they'll both be positive. So if you add them together, you're going to end up with 60. So you have to pick one of them to be negative so that when you put them together, they'll be negative. Doesn't matter which one you want to do. I would probably go with the bottom because I think I'll get a smaller number. Did you do one by negative? Which one, top or bottom? Okay, so we'll do the bottoms by negative 6s. And I think I'm going to go over here and do it over here. Can I do that? So on top, did you get 50x plus 30y equals 90?
Yeah.
On the bottom, did you get a negative 36x minus 30y equals negative 48? And combining them or adding them together, the 30s go away. This gives you positive 14x, and that's going to equal 42. Is that where we went around? You still got it so far?
Yeah.
How many times does 14 go into 42? 3 times, so that's what your x is. Still good so far?
Oh, no, I got that wrong.
And then it doesn't matter where you put the 3, you can put it in here, 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 or here. For x, you're still going to get the same answer. I'll put it in the bottom one. 6 times 3 plus 5y equals 8. 6 times 3 is 18. Subtract the 18 from the 8. I get 5y is going to equal 8. Negative 10, and y will be negative 2. So your answer, 3, comma, negative 2. Feeling good about this test. I don't know about you.
What is an equation?
Oh, now you're going to criticize my typing.
Yeah, well,
The project has,
Anybody else? Did you type this? Well, here's the deal. Keep Stewart, because you want to know, I have a program that you can tell what type of problems you want, but it did not have the point slope stuff in it. And so I had, when you do it, it says it creates your own problem, so yes, I had to type equation
and
and points.
it says equation.
But you have to remember, I was under duress, and that was probably before my third cup of coffee,
my
so
equation.
sometimes
Equation?
focus is hard for me. Jason, where were we?
I multiply the top by 5.
Because if you have 6 and 5, the only common number they have, the least common multiple of them is 30. I need to get these to be the same number. What was my other choice? I could have multiplied them both by, I could have maybe picked 90 or something to be my common denominator, but I want the smallest one. So, Jason, you're just thinking about this. If you pretended like this was the bottom of a fraction, and you pretended like that was the bottom of the fraction, what would your common denominator be that you'd have to make, and it would be 30? So the 6's get multiplied by 5, and the 5's get multiplied by 6's. Kate Kunacek,
Can you do number 18?
gladly. If I can find it. Oh, 18. Kate, how far did you get in number 18? This one is by substitution, and show them you have to solve it by substitution.
Well, I did it, but I got the wrong,
Did you? Let me blow this up just a touch. Did you, Kate, did you take this and put it in for the letter y right here? Okay, so it looked like this. You have a 4x minus 2 times what y is, which is a negative 2x plus 5. And that equals 22. Did you get that far?
Yes.
Alright, so the rest should be not too difficult here. The one problem people always seem to make is this is a negative 2, so when you multiply by this it becomes positive and that becomes negative, but let's do that. Here's my 4x. Negative 2 times negative 2x is a positive 4x, correct? And a negative 2 times a positive 5 is a negative 10. And that equals 22. Stop me there if that didn't make sense. You got all that? You put these two together, you get a x minus 10 is 22. You add 10 to get rid of it. You add 10, 8x then equals 32. Divide by 8. I'm running into the middle of another problem. And x then is going to equal 4. And then you're only half done because you got to put 4 in for x here. Negative 2 times 4 plus 5 is what y equals. Negative 8 plus 5 is a negative 3. Negative 3. Substitution, elimination, graphing, it's all everybody's favorite. Manuel, 17. Solve this system by graphing. Now, here is the gist of this one. Somebody came back to me and asked me about this, and I think it was Lane. Okay, this one, Matty Ross, really easy to solve by x, y intercepts, right? Because y-intercept is 2, x-intercept is 2, right? So bam, x, y. I'm going to really draw a straight line because if I don't, I'm not going to get it. So I get this thing here. If you got this wrong, it may be because you were not precise enough, and part of that is my fault. No, most of it's my fault. I don't. Okay. The problem with the other one, people, is you're kind of guessing as to, you know, the y-intercept is -4, right? I mean, that's pretty simple. You know, it crosses the y-axis at -4, but the no, I'm sorry, it doesn't cross at -4. No, yes, cover up the x, y is -4. Sorry, y is -4. Okay, the problem with this is, to get the x-intercept, it's going to be a fraction, which is what? Anybody know?
0.57.
Yeah, you get 7x equals -4, so you have to divide by 7. You have to divide by 7. You get -4/7. And the problem with that is you're looking for a specific point. Now, if you were accurate enough, maybe you could do this and it would work out. Lainey kind of missed on her little projection there. Where is -4/7? Well, it's a little more than -1/2. I mean, so it's probably going to be somewhat like right here-ish. And if you graph that line, I guess you'll probably get somewhere close. Wait, where was it? Yeah, these points are so close together. And this is what happened to Lainey. Pretty much the same thing. Her thing did not cross really at any place where it was just kind of a guess as to where it would be. Here is maybe what you should think. If you have 7x plus y equals -4, it's pretty simple to make this in slope-intercept form by doing what? Solve for y, what do you end up with? You just subtract the 7x over. If you subtract the 7x over, you get -7x minus 4. Well, you've got the y-intercept, and this is the slope of the line, which is going to give you exact points. You go up 7 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1, and look where that line actually falls. It actually falls right at that same point that you were given there. Now, whether that happens tomorrow on tomorrow's test, I don't know. And some of you probably crafted well enough to get that point or guess that point, I don't know. But you may want to consider putting it in a different form. Or your other option would be picking an x value and seeing what y is at that point. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So in other words, this. If you don't get a nice exact point, you could say, well, what if I picked, well, nothing's going to fall on my graph, so I'd have to, my choices aren't -1. If I pick -1 for x, I put -1 in for x, 7 times -1 plus y equals -4. This is -7. Add it to get over there, y equals 3. So at -1, I get my point. I don't know what tomorrow's is like. I should probably forewarn you about that. Altenburg,
Number 5.
number 5. Write an equation in point slope form. Yeah, this is going to be the tough ones. I'm not thinking you probably know anything about point slope form. Right. Just know this. This is really all you need to know. It looks more complicated than it is. You've got your generic formula that is this. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. You are only looking for 3 things. You are looking to put the slope in for that. And then you're just taking one of these 2 points and putting in the x point and the y in for the x1 and the y1. So I'm going to put 3 in for y1, and I'm going to put 8 in for x sub 1. I just need to figure out what the slope of this line is, and then I have the whole equation. So I'm going to do that. Y minus 3 equals, I need to figure out what this is, times x, oh, I'm sorry,
Mr. Hunt.
I got it, don't even, it's 8. My 1, is that what you're gonna say? Thank you for being nice and not yelling. And then the other one is x minus 3. Okay. Is that better? So James, how do I find slope? Just say slope formula. Slope formula, which is that simple m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Once you find the slope, your job here is done. I hate running that thing. I'll make these my 2's and these my 1's, just for consistency's sake. y2 is 5, y1 is 8, x2 is -4, x1 is 3. Did I get it right? 5 minus 8 is -3. -4 and a -3 is a -7. 2 negatives make it a positive 3/7. Is that the one we had issues on? It was. Yeah. It should be positive 3/7. 2 negatives. Those of you that got negative can argue with me and we'll see maybe I made a mistake, but that's what it should be. Are you arguing? So don't let this whole thing, again, I will go on record as saying I have no idea why you need to know that or why that even comes up, but it is what it is. And if you put these in for your x and y points for those, I really couldn't mark it wrong either because that's, you can use any point for that thing there. Is this about this?
Vaguely.
Are you thirsty?
Just look at 5, just read 5 out loud.
Just please read 5 out loud.
Wait, did we already gone through it
No.
We,
No, just
No.
please read 5 out loud.
Okay, I'll read it out loud then. Write an equation and point slope form
I
that
was
passes
having an
through the
issue with my-
points
I
3,
was having an
8,
issue
and
with-
-4, 5.
that passes through the points.
My deepest apologies for all of you. It's amazing how critical we can be when it's me, but if I were to point that out in front of everybody in the little class.
Oh no,
I would
I'm
be
open to
literally
it. Criticize my grammar. Okay.
I don't even know your grammar.
It's pretty good.
Yours is
She's
good,
the
she
grammar-
corrects us
she's
right
the
now.
grammar police.
Exactly
Are
what
you
she
the grammar
said.
police?
Oh, yes.
No, Michelle is good.
And Michelle.
Well,
Michelle
God,
is-
no,
You're
they're
second in charge. No, I'm all about road grammar. Lady, come on.
So,
Wouldn't it be wrong if you like did the whole thing out, like we distributed?
Yes. Just because that's the form. You mean because you did 3/7 minus whatever. You'd end up with the thing in point. You'd end up with the thing in.
That's what it is.
You would end up with the thing in slope-intercept form, is what you do. You mean if you multiply the 3/7 out, you got 3/7 x minus 9/7? Yeah, just leave it like that. Just know that it would be like that. Maybe if you came and tried to be tomorrow or Monday or something, you didn't know any better, but
deal.
now you know better, so you've been forewarned or 5 warned. Any other ones? Nothing else on that whole thing?
If I cried
Is your
to you,
hand up?
No, it's stretchy.
wait.
You'd have to cry and show that you actually studied.
Okay, then can I get out of the tent? That we're gonna have just at some point. Yes,
And
yes,
would
I
say,
will.
Maybe I'll let you take it
Think
over.
of sadness and puppies.
Keep it validated.
Oh, those puppies.
You think of George?
Jason has another one. Yes, Jason. 13. Number 13. Is that on this page? No? Number 13. Yeah, and this is again, please duly notice when you are factoring, again, I'll tell you this for the 1,000th time, the difference between this is factoring and this is solving. You must have equal signs in order to solve. Otherwise, all you can do is factor. So this, you don't get any equals. You don't know what x equals here. Here you do because you know this whole thing equals 0. When you're asked to factor, what you have to do to solve this one, but for this, the first thing you look at every term and say, do they all have a common factor? In this case, they do. You can take a 2 out of all 3 of them. 2 out of x squared leaves you with an x squared. 2 out of 10x leaves you with a 5x, and a 2 out of 72 leaves you with a 36. Then you're not done. Then you have to see, can I factor the trinomial? The trinomial, you're thinking reverse FOIL. The 2 still sticks around on the outside. You know this has to be x, there's no options there. What times what gives you negative 36 when added together gives you negative 5. And that's where you sit and think of all the factors you can at 36, 1 and 36. You'll never get a 5 with that. 2 and 18, still can't get a 5 no matter what you do with that. 3 and 12, still can't get a 5. 4 and 9, oh look, there are 5 difference there, so right away you're like, okay. Let's go with a negative 9 because it has to be bigger, and a positive 4 because it's the smaller one. Notice how I did spell equation right there and factor.
Good job.
I did spell.
I only noticed equation.
I didn't know.
I didn't notice.
I noticed equation.
Oh, so you forgot the dash in between, or the hyphen in between,
Is it a
point
number?
slope.
Point slope?
And then the
Point
next
and
problem, there
slope.
was
Well, sometimes.
on 5, same one again.
I will try to do better next time.
5 is like the.
I love
I will serve detention next Friday for that.
5 is like.
Any other ones on this, or forever hold your P's and Q's? I don't know if you're holding your hand up or just waiting. Yes? Oh, you don't, oh, you're just stretching again?
I don't know.
You have a question?
She doesn't know.
She just gives me.
Yes, I will. Here's the deal with number 15. Solve, but in order to solve, you have to do the same thing you did up there. So again, you look to see, is there a common factor? There's not. So you're going to break this into 2 parentheses, but those parentheses are still going to equal 0. Same exact thing. What times what gives you x squared? Well, that's easy. And what times what multiplied together gives you positive 12, added together gives you 8. So again, you have to decide if you can't do it in your hand. You'll never get an 8 with 1 and 12. 2 and 6, oh yeah, I can get an 8 with those. Add them together, which is what's going to happen. Positive 2, positive 6. Okay, but that's not the answer, that's just factored. Now, you have to say, because these are factors, if either one of them is 0, you're going to get 0, which is what you want. So you say, well, when will this parenthesis be 0? When x is negative 2, because a negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Get a 0 here, the whole thing's 0, doesn't matter what this is. When will this parenthesis be 0? When x is negative 6, because negative 6 plus 6 is 0. So the 2 answers are negative 2 and negative 6. The book will put it actually in this because it's kind of like a set of numbers. Job? I'm trying to see if there's anything. Nope. Nope. This one's kind of an interesting one because the way to get a positive there and a negative there is for them both to be negative. Other ones? I'm stopping right there. Again, I will send this video along to your parents, so I'm sure love to get off. I try not to accept too many things. If you abuse something, nobody will do that. Once I push the stop, I expect a good review of Jason. Stop. 2850.